will pump everything on top of the filter, which is just above us. Zoals ik zei, achter die eerste maïsstep, waar ik de slijmmethode ga toepassen, dus een deel ga afsnijden, ga ik die terug gaan opvullen met nog warm water, om op een temperatuur te komen in plaats van 263 naar 273, maximum 75. Gaat dat aan 3 kwartier en een half uur gaat dat opkomen. Die suikers, die zetmelen zullen verder omgezet worden door enzymen naar vergisbare suikers. Waarna ik terug een deel ga afsnijden, die slijmmethode ga toepassen en naar de kookketel ga brengen. Die twee decocties gaan opgewarmd worden naar 96 graden. Op dat punt moet ik een collega erbij halen om manueel met schoppen het beslag naar het gat daar te duwen. Dat verbonden is met een pomp en heel het beslag zal duwen naar de filter die gebogen bevindt, die we straks gaan passeren. Nadien, wat die twee slijmen dan aan 96 graden gaan opgewarmd worden, zullen samen op de filter worden gebracht. Het zal samen op zo'n 80 graden komen, waar dat die enzymwerking, dus de omzetting van zetmelen naar suikers, stopzet. Ga ik dan alles mooi opproeven en ga ik dat een half uur laten rusten. So what I told is, this mash will be pumped up the filter together working. Then I will mix everything up and we'll leave it there for half an hour just to rest. So all of the outside peel of the body will fall down and will help filter the wort through. After that,
Sorry to interrupt. I have a question. Downstairs, you saw that you have different types of beer.
yeah.
So does it mean that each section is for one beer? You understand what I mean? Each production cycle, maybe one you do the beer you gave me, and then the next one is for the beer that you gave someone else. Okay. Okay.
The beer we produce here is only lambic,
Okay.
which can later on be used for all those different beers. The difference for the fruit beers is that it doesn't need to age or ferment in wood. All the beers like you had and all the cake need to be fermented and aged between 1 and 3 years in wood, be blended together, so it cannot be one brew. It's different brews in a period from now and 3 years ago that will be blended into one Aldehuizen. Your beer probably had lambic in there that was brewed last year.
Oh.
What of the sweet one that I drank?
It's also a lambic of around a year old or older.
Okay.
And it doesn't necessarily need to be fermented in wood. With all the geuze, all the cake, it's 100% fermented in oak or chestnut barrels, which we will see later on upstairs.
But the production of all the beer starts from here.
Yes.
And it's the same?
The same.
There are two different recipes. One where we add a little bit more water to it to have a lower alcohol at the end, which is used for your fruit beers.
Okay.
For the all the geuze, we use less water and we boil for 2-3 hours longer. So for those fruit beers, we boil for 2-3 hours. For the all the geuze, that lambic is boiled for 4 to 5 hours.
Oh.
So whenever I start 5 in the morning mashing in, I will only finish around 5 in the afternoon or later. Because this takes 2 hours to do, filtration takes 3-4 hours, and then boiling takes 5 hours as well. And then you need to clean in between and do some other tasks as well.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
12, 13, 14
Sorry, is it the basic ingredient, is it the same?
The basic ingredients that we use are all the same. We use malted barley for 65% of the mash, 35% of unmalted raw wheat, and then aged hops. The hops we use are exposed to oxygen, so they will lose their aroma and most of their bitter values, but they will protect the beer antibacterial. Because that's what hops do to a beer. They protect the beer.
Did you use them in their fresh stage or you dry?
We dry them.
You dry.
We never use them fresh. They come in, we dry them, expose them to oxygen, and they will turn from green to a more brown color. Then they will lose most of their oils and aromas. So then, vanaf dat deze leeg is en de slijmen allemaal op de filter liggen, gaan we dat uitfilteren voor een periode van 3 Tot als we in totaal in de kookketel uitkomen met een wort van ongeveer 15.000 à 16.000 liter. Daar in het begin van de kook ga ik hop toevoegen die verouderd is, die gaat antibacterieel werken en gaat geen aroma of bitterheid of een minimum aan bitterheid geven aan het bier. En zal koken ergens tussen 4 en 5 uur, naar gelang de lambiek die we brouwen en wat het later zal voor gebruikt worden. Een langere kook zal dienen voor de oude geus en oude kriek. Een kortere kook zal dienen voor minder suiker, dus minder verdamping en dus minder alcohol. Die zijn meer voor de fruitbieren. Die zijn lager in alcohol. Dus we gaan 4-5 uur koken met die verouderde hoppen. Waarna na de kook ik het zal oppompen met diezelfde pomp naar een bak boven een soort een koperen zwembad, waar wij een koelschip noemen. Daar gaat het overnacht afkoelen tot onder de 23 graden en zal het daar besmet of geïnoculeerd worden met wilde gissen en bacteriën in het gebouw en in de buitenlucht. Vandaar dat lambic ook een seizoensbier is en wil ik niet brouw tussen eind mei, vorige week was het laatste brouwsel, tot ergens september, wanneer de temperatuur terug naar beneden zakt. Daartussen wordt er geen lambic gebrouwen, omdat we die koude nachten nemen om ons bier natuurlijk af te koelen. So after we filtered and mashed in, filtered, we will boil it for up to 5 hours with those aged hops, which after I will pump up the wort, the boiled wort, up to a cool ship. That's a copper like swimming pool we will see later on, where it will cool down and be inoculated with wild yeast and bacteria, which will ferment the wort spontaneously. We don't add yeast to it. You will see the copper vessel upstairs as a cool ship. It will cool down under 23 degrees, be infected or inoculated with wild yeast and bacteria, and then be pumped up into tanks, or in most cases wooden barrels where it will ferment and age in between 1 and 3 years old.
So you don't use yeast?
We don't use yeast. There is no fridge with yeast in here.
What type of bacteria do you use? Out of curiosity.
We don't use any wild yeast or bacteria. It just naturally falls in there and ferments it spontaneously. The bacteria that will work on there are Pediococcus and Brettanomyces bruxellensis, which is called after the city of Brussels. And then Lactobacillus, which is a lactic acid producing bacteria, which will sour the wort. By souring, it will protect the beer. The lactobacillus is something you will also find in sour milk or Activia yogurt. It's a different strain we have in our lambic, but it's similar. It will just sour the wort. And then they also contain Saccharomyces, which is just a normal beer yeast. It's a beer yeast you use when you brew and make bread at home.
Okay.
But then different ones. In total, it will contain more than 1,000 different bacteria and yeast. It's not only one; they all work together and all work at a certain time during that fermentation. That's why it needs at least 9 months to fully attenuate and ferment and age. Before that, we never drink from it. We wait at least 6 to 9 months before we start tasting, analyzing it.
Okay.
But
It's a long process.
Yeah.
it's a long process, so time and having patience is part of the process. Only a small amount of what we do here to produce a wort at the end is just a small part. Nature does its work as well, and the cooling down is just, we need cold nights. That's why lambic is a seasonal beer.
Oh, it is.
And that's why it's expensive.
It's a seasonal beer.
It's not so, in our case, it's not so expensive. 3 euros for a small one and 7 euros for a big one. For 3.5 years work is nothing.
Because it's made of
Yeah.
fruits. Made of fruits.
Even our Oude Creek contains 300 grams per liter fruit and it's also 3 euros. It's nothing. If you go to the shop and buy 300 grams of cherries, you will pay more than 3 euros for it.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
And we've added 1, 2 and 3 year old lambic to it, which has aged into wooden barrels which are not free at all.
Yeah.
So here the prices are relatively good.
Yeah.
That means the production is not always.
We do produce all year round. The only thing is, yesterday was holiday, today is a bridge day, so all my colleagues are at home.
Yeah. Okay.
And then during the weekend, most of the time, there is no production here. We work from Monday till Friday. But we do have other beers within the catalogs of John Martin's, which we are part of. So we also do Guinness. We have tanks filled up with Guinness, brown or brown beer or cherry beer from Waterloo. We have beer from Bruges, from Bourgogne and Flanders, which are also breweries within our company. But in most of the cases, we have a lot of lambic here, millions of liters of lambic.
I have a question on behalf of my husband. The Guinness, is it possible to buy it in bulk?
You can buy it, why not? You can even buy kegs of it
The cake.
and maybe you can buy it in cans nowadays with nitrogen.
No, I mean yours, the one you produce it.
We just finished everything. We only did a small amount of it because it's blended with cherry lambic,
Okay.
and the Guinness we got in were only a limited amount. But we will redo them in maybe a month or two.
Do let us know.
You can place an order.
You can place an order on our web shop. We probably still have in stock for ordering in our web shop.
It'll be great to have it in a gallon as I take it home and say take.
That's the blend of cherry lambic with Guinness. But the normal Guinness or Guinness Special Export, you can buy it here in the cafe.
Yeah,